Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are going to build this beautiful social media app with Next.js, React and Tailwind.css. Today we are going to focus only on the design, so we'll put all the structure and styling with Tailwind, and in the next video we are going to put all the API endpoints and features, so don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Now let me show you what we are going to build today. First, we have a login page with different providers and cool animations. On the homepage, we are going to see our posts and posts of our friends. We will also have a form for creating new posts. On each post, we can leave a comment. We can like, comment or share. We can also upload an image as a comment. And we have also a more button where we can save posts, turn notifications, delete or report. We've also saw some cool animations. And then we have also a user profile where we have a cover image, avatar, some posts that user has created, about page with some text, all the friends of the user, and also all the photos that the user has uploaded. On the sidebar we have also saved posts where we see all the posts we have saved, and we can also see notifications to know what happened and when. And of course the last button is just a logout that takes us to the login page. So that's all we are going to create today, and in the next video we are going to connect it with a database. Let me know in the comments if I should add anything, and otherwise let's now jump into the code. Alright, so as always we're starting with an empty directory here on my left side, and I will open terminal in my code editor, and inside this directory I will create a new next app. So let's do yarn create next app, and I want to create this app inside the current directory, so just a dot, and now it's installing. And would you like to use TypeScript with this project? No, not with this one. Would you like to use ESLint? Yes, why not? So now it's installing. I will open a new tab in my terminal here, and now I can start adding Tailwind CSS. Let's see if it's still installing. Yes, it is. Let's first wait so it will install. Now it's done. Let's now add Tailwind CSS. So this is installing. Let's see. Then we need to do npx Tailwind CSS init. So let's run this. And then we just need to update Tailwind config. So let's go to Tailwind config and to content, and we need to add those three. So copy those three and put them here. Right now we just need to put this in global CSS. So let's see, styles, global CSS. Let's remove everything and let's just put this. All right, and now let's try to run. So let's do yarn dev, and let's see if everything works. We got this link, and it looks like everything works. Let's see. Now let's go to public, not public pages, sorry, and index page. And I will remove everything from here. I will just leave an empty div with a text test inside. Yes, we have test. Let's try by adding some classes like text Emerald 500, why not? Yeah, and it's green. Right, I can remove all of those unused stuff. Yeah, and now we can start creating our homepage. So on our homepage we will have two columns. The left sidebar with some links like home and friends, saved posts, and stuff like this, and maybe some extra widgets. And here the right column, or the main column that will be a little bit wider, will have a form to leave a new post, create a new post, and then all the posts will be underneath. So let's change this one to maybe just a div, and let's maybe try first with flex. So let's do class name, and let's put flex on this one, and let's put max width of maybe let's do 3XL. Let's add some border of color it can be this green. Green is okay. And let's see. Now I see this border. I'll make it bigger. Let's do border 4. And now let's see how big it is. It's really big. If I do just like this, it's still really big. Yes, and well, I will just make it just large. Now let's see. Okay, it's because I zoomed in. So let's do 3XL, and it is this big. 4XL, this big. Okay, I think 4XL will be good enough. So I think now I will make it centered. So let's do margin on the sides. So margin X auto, sorry, MX auto. So now this green border is centered. I'll maybe put the text here like test. Yeah. And now we want to create 2 columns inside. So 2 divs, the first one and the second one. And here we'll have a sidebar. And here we'll have form and posts. So something like this. But, well, the form and the posts should start somewhere here. So sidebar should take like 1/3 of the space. So let's see. Width of 1/3. Can we do like this? Yes, it worked. Right. And now let's see. We have sidebar on place. And maybe we can add a little bit of margin from the top here. So it's the margin top of, let's say, 4. Yes. And now maybe let's create our first widgets. So for our sidebar, we will have a widget or a card with some links. So I will put here a div with class name background, maybe not background, but let's add some border first. Border black. And here we will put links. And yeah, this will work. Then in this, we will have a div with, let's also do a border black. And here we will have a form. And in another widget, we'll have posts or a single post. All right, now let's try to make our widget or cards a little prettier. So first, I would like to add some extra colors to my Tailwind. So I will go here to extend, and I will put colors. And I will call my colors. All of my colors will start with social. So let's do social background. And for this, I have prepared a almost white grayish color. And this will be this one. And then we will need also social blue. And this will be this one. So here you can see the colors. Right, and I will copy this social background color. And now I would like to change the background color here. So it will be a little grayish. So let's go to globals. And now for our body, let's add background color of this one. Yeah, so it's more grayish now. And now let's go back to our index.js. Well, and now as you can see, we will have several widgets, several cards for links, for form, for posting a new posts, and then for specific posts. So instead of putting the class names and repeating everything, I will create a component that I will reuse. It will be named card or something like this. So I'll create a new directory for my components. And here I will put a new component called card. Right, and this will be a really simple component. So let's do export default function card, and let's do return. It will just return a div with some class names. And inside the div, we will just print all the children, or render all the children. So let's get children. Right, and let's say that our card will have a background of white, some shadow of shadow small, yeah, and let's see if this will work. So let's go to index page, and instead of doing this links inside this div, let's remove this, and let's use our card component. It has been imported for me here, so if it doesn't do automatically for you, you need to edit this line manually. Let's do card, and here just test links. So we have our first card here. Maybe we can increase the shadow. So let's do medium, yeah. And let's do rounded corners. So let's do rounded medium. Yeah, I think this will work. And let's also add some padding. And the padding will be at least 4. So yeah, this will work. Now back to index page. I want to get rid of this annoying green border. Yeah, so now we can see our first card or widget here. Now I would like to have a space here between the form and the links card, but first I will add card for the form. So let's do card form here, right? And let's see, first I want the second column to take all the possible space. So let's do grow here. And now let's add a gap here. So let's do a gap, maybe 2. That's too little. Let's do gap 4. Yeah, that's better. Maybe 6. Yeah, I think this will work. Well, let's see now globals. This looks all right. Back to index. And I think we can continue with our links here. Or maybe we can first put our first post. So let's do card, first post test. It's directly underneath. We should have some spacing. So let's go to card, and maybe let's add some margin bottom of 4, maybe more. Let's do 5. Yeah, I think this will work. Let's see if we will increase the shadow. Does it look better? Yes, let's do shadow large. I would like to test to make the shadow darker. So let's try with shadow black. Yeah, this is super dark. Let's try with maybe gray 500. Yes, maybe we can make the shadow smaller. Let's try with SM, so small. No, let's do medium. Yeah, but let's try with gray 700. No, not this way, 300. Yeah, I think we will stay with this 300. Or maybe even lighter, 200. 300 will be good enough. Right, now let's go back to our index page and let's start fixing our test links. So let's say we'll have an H2 here that will say navigation, and underneath we'll have some links. So let's say that the first link will be just a home page. So I'll for now use just a tag, and let's say this one will be home, and then we'll also have more like friends and saved posts. Why not? Where else? The last one will be logout. Anything else? Notifications. Yeah. Now we need to add some styling to all those. So let's add class name. And well, first we need to make them block. Yeah, that's much better. And now a really important thing is I would like to add some icons. So I will go to hero icons, and let's start with home. So I will take this one, copy JSX, and I will put it here. Yeah, then we have friends. So let's search for maybe a group of people. Yeah, this one, copy JSX, Let's put it here. Saved posts. Let's search for a bookmark. This will work. Yes. Now notifications. Let's try with a bell. Copy JSX. Paste. Yes. And logout. Logout. Copy JSX. Logout. And let's put it here. And now let's see. Here. Yeah. Almost there. We just need to make them flex. So instead of log, let's do flex. Yeah, that's much better. We can even add some gap here of, I don't know, gap 2. And well, now we can maybe add some padding from the top and the bottom. So let's do padding on the top and the bottom. So padding Y, let's do 2. Yeah, I think that will work. Maybe we can do padding 3 to have even more space. Now let's fix this header navigation. Let's do class name and well, let's make it grayish. So let's do text gray and maybe 500. Yes, this will work. And let's make it bold. Bold. It's font bold. I think it's too dark. Let's do 300. Too bright. 400. I don't know if I want bold. I will just do like this. Now some margin bottom of at least 3. And I think this will work for now. On this card, I would like actually to put even more padding on the sides, but only on this one. So I will put this everything content of this card inside a separate div. But before I will do this, maybe I will just grab this whole card, cut the content from here, and I'll put it as a separate component. As the new component here, and let's do maybe navigation. Navigation card.js. And let's do export default function navigation card default, and let's just return the thing that I have just cut it from there. And here I'll put a div with some class names of extra padding on the sides of, I don't know, 4. And now all of this that is inside the card, I'll put it inside this div. Now let's print it inside our homepage. So let's do navigation card. Yes, it has been imported. And yeah, I think it looks nice. I'll put some maybe even from the top. I will do 2 or on the y-axis. So even from the bottom. And for the gap, I will increase the gap to maybe 4. But not only on home, I want to increase the gap on all gap 2s. Maybe that's too much. Let's change it back to gap 3. Yes. Now let's maybe fix this form here for creating posts. So let's go back to index page. And here we have this form. I think we'll start by creating a new component. New file. And let's call this one post form card.js, and here export default post form card. Sorry, I forgot about function here. And here let's do just return, and I think it will be just a card. And let's do form here component, and let's put it inside our index. So post form card like this. And we have it, this component thing. Now let's go back to our post form and let's add some more elements here. So I would like to have 2 parts, 2 rows. The first row with a circle avatar image and then a text area. And then underneath I will have some extra buttons. So I'll put the first div for my text area and avatar here. So let's do avatar, Yeah, something like this. Now for this text area, I want to add a placeholder, and I will change this text area to make it like this. So no closing tag of text area, it will just a single element like this. For placeholder, let's put what's on your mind, David. Yeah, something like this. Now I need to add some class names. So, and even on this div, class names, for now it will be empty. Let's make this one flex. Yes, and this should grow all the way to the right side. So our text area will take all the possible space. We want to add some gap of at least 3. Yes, and now our avatar shouldn't be a text. It should be an image. So let's go to Unsplash and let's search for a man or a guy, doesn't matter. I think I will take this one. And let's copy the image address just for now, so we can fill some spaces. And for source, let's put this one. So we have an avatar. It's too big. Let's put it inside a div where we can add some class names. So let's put a width of, I don't know, 3. No, that's too small. Let's do 48. That's too big. 24, still too big. 12. Yeah, I think 12 will work. Maybe we can find something else. Man face, avatar. Let's see. Let's search for just a face. I will take this one. Let's copy image address. And for the source, I'm going to put this one. Yeah, looks fine. Now for the outer div, I want to make rounded corners. So rounded full, because I want to make it a circle, and overflow hidden, because I want to hide the corners, everything that is outside. Right, now for the text area, let's add some padding from the top. So, and from the bottom. So the padding top and the bottom, maybe 3. And now, as you can see, we destroyed our corners. And this is because when the text area became this big, and then this div became also this big. And because image was square, the rounded corners now are here. So to fix it, we just need to put a separate div, and we just need to put it here. Yeah. For our text area, let's just change to padding of 2-3 on every side, and let's decrease this gap to maybe just 1. Now let's see how this text area looks like. I think it looks alright. So maybe gap 2 will be better. Yeah. Now underneath here, I would like to have some buttons for adding a place or something like this, and then the main button for submitting the post or for posting the post. Right, so another div here underneath, and we'll add some buttons. So let's say that this main will be flex, and here underneath we will have let's see, what kind of buttons do we want to have? Maybe first to tag people, then a button to, I don't know, check in on a place, and then a mood button. And all of those, I want to put them in separate divs. So this one will go here, and the last one will go here. All right, and I want to have icons here as well. And first I will add some gap. Let's say gap 2, gap 3. So we'll have some spacing between those divs and the buttons. So for the icons, we need for people, I will take just user, copy JSX, here and this check-in for a place. We can find a map pin here, check-in, yes, and we have also mood. Here we need some smiley face, so let's take this one, and now let's see. Yeah, this will work. But for all the buttons here, we need to make them flex, so we'll have yeah, something like this. And let's also add a gap inside those buttons between the icon and the text. Maybe gap 1. Yeah, I think this will work. Now, I think I would like to change the default color of the text from pure black to something a little bit lighter. Let's try with 333. Yeah, I think this is a little better. Back to our post form card, and let's see. Now we just need a button for submit here. I want to have a submit button. So here we have the last button. Let's add another one. It will be a button with, it will say, not submit, let's say share. So, and this share button should be like really specific color and stuff. So this should be a main button. So let's make it blue. We have our social blue. So let's do background social blue. Yes, and the text should be white. Yeah, we need to add a lot of padding on the sides. Let's say 10. Oh, that's too much. Let's do 6. Yes, and there's some padding on the top and the bottom. Let's do 2. Yeah, this will work. And there's some rounded corners. Maybe XL. That's too much. Let's do medium. Yeah, I think this will work. Maybe some less padding on the top and the bottom. And yeah, I think this will work. Now, as you can see, those buttons are not in line with this share. So I will go to here to our flex for this row. And I will add the items center. Yeah, that's a little better. Now for the last button, I would like to put it on the right side. So first this div, the last div, should take not only this space, but all the possible space. So I will do here class name, and I will add grow. And now let's add text right. So maybe it will be, yes, aligned to the right side. All right, and this looks all right. For this whole row, I would like to add a little bit of margin top. Let's do margin top 1 or maybe 2. Yeah, this will work. And a little bit more of space here between. So we have gap 3. Let's do maybe gap 5. Yes, that's much better. Maybe we could make this text area a little smaller. So let's try with rows here, or maybe we can do half. Let's do half of 15. Or wait a second, let's do like this. Okay, we need to define half as a number of text rows. So let's do maybe 4, 14. No, this is pixels. Let's do 14 and let's see how big is it. Yeah, I think this will work. I think this is good. Let's see. Yeah, this will work. All right, so I think we are done with this part. Maybe we could add some padding here from the left side. Let's see. Padding left of 3, 2. Just a little bit of padding. No, we don't need padding from the left side. This will work fine. Right, now one thing that I would like to exclude from here and put as a separate component is this avatar. Because when we will go further to create, for example, this test post, we will have an avatar here as well. So here I have an avatar div, and I will just cut it from here, and I will put it as a separate component as the file avatar.js, export default function avatar, and let's do return, and let's paste it here. And let's go back here and let's put here our avatar. It hasn't been imported for me. Let's try again. Avatar. Now it's imported and it looks fine. All right, now let's go back to our home page. So pages, index, and let's see styling for our first post. So this will be our first test post. And later when we are done with styling the website with this Tailwind, I will add database connections, API endpoints, and other cool features. But now let's fix the styling first. So inside this card, we will have a post. So first inside the post, I want to have a face or an avatar. So let's do avatar, yeah, something like this. And then next to avatar, I would like to have a text here, what has been the name of the person and shared blah blah blah. So John Doe shared an album here, and here underneath I would like to have like 1 hour ago or something like this. So to do this, I will create the flex div, and on the left side of this flex div, I will have a div with my avatar inside, and on the right side I will have here those 2 lines. The first line will be this name of the person, so let's say John Doe, and then shared a post or shared a text, and underneath I would like to have like 2 hours ago. Yes. Now let's style this a little bit. So for this first the name, I would like to make it let's put it inside a span so we can add some class names here. Then, or maybe we can make it a link. Yeah, it should be a link. So let's make it bold. Can we do semi-bold? Yes, we can. Yeah, semi-bold looks all right. And well, this looks okay. Maybe we can make this post a link. So let's make a break line here. Shared a post. Let's make a link out of this post. So I can put it like here. Here's some class names. And I want the text to be social blue, like this. Yes. And now a really important thing will be to add some gap here. So here we have this flex. Let's add a gap of 3. Yeah, I think this will work. Now for our 2 hours ago, let's get first our paragraph closing tag here. 2 hours ago, let's do class name, and let's make it in grayish. So let's do text gray, maybe 500, and let's make it smaller. So let's do font SM. No, it should be text SM. So it's a little bit smaller. Yeah, this should work. All right, then maybe instead of a post, let's put a photo or album. Oh, boom, album of photos. Right, and then let's see. We are starting to have some mess here. So I will get this card and I will put it as a separate component. And this one will be called post card.js. Let's do return, not return, export default function, post card, and here just return. And let's just paste it here, back to our index page. We don't need this avatar here anymore. We'll just use our post card. Post card. Yes, it has been imported. And we are back to business. Now, we said it is an album. So let's go inside and let's add a photo. So here the first part is this, just this header of a post. Underneath we will have content. So let's say that on the top we will have some text. So I'll add just lorem ipsum, and well, we need to style it a little bit. So let's add a class name here for our text, and let's add a margin on the top and the bottom. So margin Y of 2. Yes, and I think this will work. Maybe let's make the text smaller. Let's do text as M. Yeah. And maybe more spacing. Let's do margin top and the bottom 3. And under this text, I want to have an image. And let's go to Unsplash. And let's search for, we have a lot of blue, so I will search for Greece because they have this blue buildings, and I will take this one. Let's copy the image address and let's put it here. And we have our image. So I will put it inside the div so we can add some styling like rounded corners and stuff. So let's add some class names here. Let's do rounded medium, and overflow hidden. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, I think this will work for now. One small issue I see is that this navigation can be super small because this thing takes more space than it should. So let's go back to our index page and let's see. Well, this one has a width of 1/3 and this one should just grow. Maybe let's change it to that this will have a width of 2 or 3. Yeah, and this is a little better, but I think we can make our navigation a little bit smaller. So let's maybe do that. This one will be 1/4 and this one will be 3/4. Yeah, and I think this is much better. Let's see. And well, can we do, for example, 5/12? Yes, we can. And here let's do 7/12, and let's see. No, let's make this one smaller, like 3/12, and this one will be then 9/12. Maybe links a little bit bigger, 4, and here 8. Maybe 3 and 9. Can we do of 24? No. Well, this will work for now. So basically we could make it back to 1/4 and 3/4, but well, it does better for now. Now I would like to fix some, maybe some social buttons here underneath. So let's go to postcard, and here we have content. So let's say that here underneath we will have a div with all the social buttons. So a like and comment button and stuff like this. So let's say that the first button will be a like button. I would like to have an icon here with a heart. Let's copy this one. Let's put it here, and let's say we will have 72 likes here. Let's see how it looks like. Yeah, something like this. We just need to make it flex, so it will be next to each other. Yeah, some gap of 2. Yeah, this will work. And the items center, so it will be on the same, aligned vertically. Now for this whole div, I will add some margin top of at least 2 and 4. So we have some spacing from this photo. Maybe even more. Let's do 6. That's too much. Let's go back to 4 or 5. All right, and now another button will be for comments. So here we have button. Let's put another one, but we need a comment icon. So here we have a comment. Maybe I would take this one. So comments, let's say we'll have 12 comments or 11 comments, doesn't really matter. And let's do one more button, a share button. So let's see, do we have any share icon here? We have this. It looks weird, but let's take it and let's see how it will look like. Let's say it will have only 4 shares. Yeah, and I think this will work. Now let's put those buttons next to each other. So let's do flex, and let's add some gap here of at least 3. Let's do more, let's do 5. Let's do more, 7. Yeah, I think 7 is good. Maybe we can do 8. Yeah, 8 is better. Now underneath, so we have this div with all the social buttons. Underneath, I would like to have a small text area for commenting. Text area. And here I will add a class name so it will be visible. So I will add a border, small border, and I will make it like this. I will add a placeholder, and that will say leave a comment. Yeah, and then on the left side of this area, I would like to have an avatar as well. So let's make this one flex, and here let's put a div, and here we'll put an avatar. And well, text area can be here, but we need to add some margin from the top, so we'll have some spacing from the social icons of at least 3, and we need to have some gap between the avatar and the text area. Let's say 3. Yeah, maybe more margin top, let's do 4. Now for our text area, let's say we'll add grow, so it will take all the space here. And now let's maybe add some padding of at least 2 on each side. Let's put some height of 14 maybe, 12. We just need for a single line. Yeah, 12 will work. And now let's maybe do some rounded corners. Let's do rounded. I want to do rounded full. Yes, and I need more padding from the sides. And so let's do maybe padding 3. And no, let's do padding 2. But padding from the sides will be 4. Yes. Let's do maybe height of 14. 13. No, we can do 12 only. Well, let's do padding 3, but then we got this scroll bar. Maybe if we do overflow hidden, okay, then we don't have this scroll bar. So that's better. Right, so this will work. And let's see. I think one small thing I would like to add here would be to have a camera icon to upload some photos inside the comments. Somewhere here. And first, then we need to put our text area inside the div. And we will put this border actually on this div instead of the text area. So let's see, we have border and we have this grow that we need to put inside our div. So let's put it here. And now also this rounded full. We also need to add this back rounded full to our text area, I think. Right, let's see. Here's something wrong with our text area. Let's make this one block, and now it looks much better. Let's put width to full, so take all the space. Yeah, that's much better. Now we need to put a button here with camera. So I will grab an icon from hero icons, camera, and I will take, let's check file or maybe image, and we'll take this image instead. Yeah, now let's go back to our Yeah, and this icon I would like to place here on the right side. So how can we do this? We can make this div relative, and this button, we can make this one absolute. Absolute. Now let's see. It doesn't take any space. Now let's go top. From that top should be 0. So top 0. Let's do right 0. Now it's here. Let's do top 2. Top 3. Yeah. Now let's do right 3. And we have it here. And we have this hand icon on the cursor. And now I will just make it brighter. So on the button, let's maybe do a text of gray 500. Yeah, this worked. Let's do 400. Yeah, I think this will be good. And yeah, we are done with this part, I think. And the last part on the post is like extra button here that will open extra menu. So let's go to the top of this post and let's see. I want to add 3 dots here, so a more button, something like this. And then when you click on this, it will open a pop-up menu. So let's see. Here we have our row with this person. So we need to add one more element here. Where is this div? It's this first div. First part is the avatar. Then we have those texts. And here I will put a more button. Now we have it here, but if I make the middle div to grow, then the more button is here on the right side. Now let's put this as a button and let's copy this icon here. Copy JSX. Let's put it here and let's see. Yeah, here we have it. Now I would like to make it brighter. So let's do text gray 500. Yeah, maybe 300. Yeah, maybe a little darker. Let's do 400. Yeah, this will work. And now I would like to add some action. What happens when we click on it? So I will go to yarn and there's something like react click outside. We could make it with references and stuff, but I think this thing will be much easier. Let's see, drop down. I think I will use another one and it's called a little bit easier to use, react click count handler. Yeah, and here we'll just import this thing. First I will add it, so let's do yarn add react click out handler, and here I can just put it here. Let's put it here, and as you can see, we just need to put it like this. And let's see, let's say under the button we'll have this handler. For now, click out handler will be just an empty arrow function, and here we'll have our drop down menu. Now let's see here, we have some errors. Okay, here we need to put this inside one element. Yeah, and here we have our drop down menu. So first let's define if it should be open or not. So let's add a state here, const. Let's call this one drop down open and set drop down open. It will be use state and default will be false. Now let's go down here, not here, to our drop down. And now let's see. This div should be only visible if dropdown open is true. So let's do dropdown open and parentheses, and let's put this div here inside. We need to put probably all this inside a separate div, so we'll have a single component inside clickout handler. And now let's see. Now if we click this button with those dots, let's do on click, and I would like to do arrow function, and let's do set dropdown open to true. Now if I click it, we see dropdown menu. Let's style it a little bit. So let's do a class name. Let's do absolute. Yes. And well, this one, maybe let's do, let's put this one will be relative. So here we can do now right 0. Yeah, so we can move it a little bit to the left. And well, now let's see. Now we would need to add some white background. So let's do background white and some shadow. So let's do shadow. Let's just copy the shadow from the card. Let's see, shadow medium, shadow gray 300. Let's put the same one here, same shadow. So we have some shadow. Let's add some padding of 3. Yeah, so we have it here. Let's do rounded corners. So let's do rounded medium, and maybe we can make the shadow bigger or darker. Let's do 500 here. No, 300 is enough. Rounded, let's do small. Yes, and now let's see. Maybe we can pull it right a little bit. So let's do maybe minus right 4, 6. Yeah, so it's somewhere here. This looks okay, I think. Let's maybe do a small border of gray 300. Brighter, let's do 200, 100. Yeah, 100 will be good. So we have drop down menu here. And here now, instead of this text, we would like to have some kind of actions we can run on this post. Maybe let's make it bigger first. Let's do width of, can we do like 52? Let's see. Yeah, I think this will work. 52 looks nice. Now, instead of this drop down menu text, I will add some links here. So maybe first save this post. So save post, then another maybe watch post, or maybe turn notifications. What else? If it's your post, you can delete it. Yes, and now let's maybe add some icons. Maybe we can also add hide post. Yes, and now let's go to icons. Bookmark icon. I will take this one for saving the post. Turn notifications. Let's do bell with this. It's ringing. Hide post. Let's search for X. Yes, and let's put it here. And the last one is delete. So let's maybe do trash. So let's put this trash here. And the last thing that every social platform has is that you can report. So let's do report. And let's search for exclamation mark. We can do either this one, or maybe this one. Let's take this one with triangle. Yes, and now let's see. Yeah, it looks okay, almost. Now for all those links, I will add some class names. And the class names are going to be flex first. Then let's add some padding on the top and the bottom of, let's say, 2. Now some gap between the icon and the text of maybe 2. Yes, this, I think this will work. And maybe some padding on the sides of 2 as well. Yes, I think this looks good. Now it would be nice so we could close this. So we have this click out handler here, and we can set dropdown open to false. So now we can open it and we can close it. So that's really cool. So I think we are now done with this post. One small thing is that when it's open and I'm clicking again, I would like to close it. So here we have this button, and instead of setting always to true, let's do the opposite of the previous value. So drop down open. So now if I now it's closed. Oh, it's still opening. Maybe we don't how to fix it. The problem is that when I click on this now, first it will run closing, first it will run click outside, and then it will click on this button, so it will open again. So click outside will close it, but click on this will open it again. So how can we fix it? We can set dropdown open to false, but only if it's open. So dropdown open, and then we are doing set dropdown to open to false. Now let's see. Now it doesn't work. Sorry, I think it should be true here, so we can open it. Now I click, still doesn't work. I forgot about exclamation mark here. Yeah, now we still have the same problem. So maybe we can make it, let's put it as a separate function. Function will be called open dropdown, and well, let's use this function here. So let's just call open dropdown, and we can just make it like this, open dropdown without any parentheses. And now when we want to open dropdown, we will just do set dropdown open to true, but we get an event also, and we want to do stop propagation. So we will not pass event to the click outside. Now let's see, almost there. Maybe we should first fix that this closing should also have event, and this one is actually that we should stop propagating. So let's do function handle click outside dropdown with event, and let's see here, handle click outside dropdown. Let's get rid of those parentheses, and as the event stop propagation and set dropdown open to false. And now let's see, open again. Another solution will be actually that if it's open, we will show a invisible div here above, or we can actually, if it's open, nothing should run here. So if it's open, dropdown open, then let's see, just return. No, because it's closing and then it's opening again. So let's try by doing this invisible div above. Or maybe we could just remove this action here. So if it's open, then we shouldn't have this on click. Well, let's see. Let's say that we will have another button that will be exactly the same, but this one will be visible only if this dropdown is open. Dropdown open, and let's put this into parentheses, and this one should be visible only if the dropdown is not open. All right, and if the dropdown is open, we don't want to have any on click. So now let's see. Yeah, now it works. It will be cool to simplify it a little bit. So, well, let's get rid of this, and let's get rid of this if. we can put this if inside our onClick for our onClick. And now let's put this back, and let's see if we can put our onClick event like this. No. Can we put it like this with, let's put onClick as open dropdown. No, this will not work. So I think we will actually need to go back and have 2 buttons, or I can actually put back onClick handle or open dropdown, and actually create this div that will be, let's say, background red for now, but width will be 5, height will be 5, and it will be absolute. And we will put it on top of this button here. So let's remove this absolute and let's see where it is. Background red 300, absolute. I don't see it. Let's make it bigger. No, still nothing. Okay, now I see this. Let's put absolute here. And on this div, I will put relative. And here absolute. Let's put top 0. Okay, and now it's hidden, so we can just remove this background for now. And this div should be only visible if this dropdown is open. So this is a really hacky solution, but I'm a little bit tired, so we can have it like this. Yeah, this will work. All right, now it will be cool to do some kind of animation here on this navigation, and also here. So we will have some animation on hover and some extra colors, and even for active element, like for example, here we are on the home page now. So this should have a different color. So let's go to navigation card.js. And now let's see. We have navigation here. I'll make this a little bigger. And let's see, here we have this first item, home. So I think I will add some blue background on this one. So let's see, let's try with background social blue. Yeah, and now let's also add text white. Yes, now let's stretch this button or link to the left and right. So let's do a negative margin on the x-axis of let's say 10. Yeah, and now let's add some padding on the x-axis of, let's say, 10 as well. Yeah, and now let's do rounded corners. So let's do rounded, maybe medium. Yeah, I think this will work. Maybe let's also add some shadow. So let's do shadow, maybe medium. And let's add some shadow color, a gray color. So let's do shadow and let's do gray, maybe 300. Yeah, so we have a little bit of shadow. That's cool. This is for the selected one. Now I would like to add some animation on the hover for all other elements. So I will start here, and let's see, when I hover on the friends, what should happen? Let's add a semi-blue color. So let's do hover, and let's do blue, maybe 200. Let's see, didn't work. Let's see, friends, hover, or sorry, it should be background blue 200. Yeah, now it worked. Maybe let's do the same margin and stuff as we did above. So let's do negative margin on the x of 10, and the same for the padding, but with positive numbers, padding on the x-axis of 10. Now let's see, yeah, now rounded corners, so rounded medium. Yeah, and now let's add some transition, so transition all. Let's see how it works now. Yeah, that's cool. And maybe we can do some scaling. So let's do scale 122%, but only on hover. Let's see. Yeah, maybe let's get down to 110%. Yeah, I think this will work. Also some shadow of shadow medium. Let's do the same shadow, and shadow gray 300. Now let's see. Yeah, but this shadow should be only on hover. So the hover, yeah. And maybe we can do this blue color same as this one. So let's scroll here, background, let's do social blue. And let's try with background opacity of 50%. Let's see. No, this didn't work. Let's see if we change this one back to a regular blue color, like 500. Will the opacity work? So it should be over background blue 500, and this one should be only on hover opacity. And now let's see. Yeah, it worked. Maybe we can remove those sides and stuff, so it will not go, so it will not grow bigger than this one above. So let's see. Let's change this one to 4, and same with this. Yeah, I think this one works nice. Maybe we can make it a little bit brighter. Let's see. Yeah, something like this. Maybe we can add some spacing from the top and the bottom here. So we will have some, so this will be smaller from the top and the bottom. Let's see. Maybe we can do margin on the top and the bottom of 1. Let's see. -1. And no, should be positive, but let's also add some padding of only 1 on the top and the bottom. And now let's see. Yes. And if we remove this, it's bigger. So here we need to add a little bit more. Let's see, what are the defaults? The defaults are from the top and the bottom, it's 3. So when we are doing, actually we can maybe remove this and we can change this one. So instead of 3 from the top and the bottom, let's do 1 for the padding, but let's also add here 1 for the margin. Yeah, so we have some spacing. Maybe we can do 1 here and 2 here, so we get something like this. Maybe 2 on both, so we have more spacing. Yeah, I think 1 is enough. Yeah, now let's do the same for every other. So I think I will just copy those classes, copy, and I will paste on every other element like this. And now everything got smaller, I think. So I think we need to add some more margin from the top and the bottom. Let's see. On everyone, let's select every element here. And well, let's see. Let's maybe change this one to 2. Yeah, so we have some more space. Now let's see. Yeah, it looks really nice. But now we don't have it on home, but I guess it's okay. And we have a lot of repetition for all those elements for the class names. So let's maybe define them as constants here. So classes for active element, and non-active element classes. So for non-active element, we'll have this, but it should be 2 here. And for active element, I will grab all those and I will put them here. And now instead of having those as a string here, I will select all those and I will put it as a active element. maybe I should add classes in the variable name, but that's okay. Now for all those on all elements, I will remove this string and I will add non-active element. Let's see if it still works. Yes, it does. So it will be easier later to change when you click, for example, this one, it will change to, we will change this to active element and this one will be non-active. Right, so we have this, and now maybe we can add the same animation on the here, on this dropdown here. So we will probably need only this non-active element because there will be no active elements in dropdown. But let's now go to the postcard and let's see. Let's search for save post, right? And here we have those classes for each element here. We have 5, and for now I'll just put it like this. And let's see. Yeah, I think this will work. We could maybe here remove this background opacity, but I think it works okay. Let's maybe also try without opacity to see if it works better. So let me select hover background blue and hover opacity. I will select on all 5 elements and I will replace it with hover and background social blue. Let's see now. Yeah, but we need to add white text as well. So let's do hover text white. Now let's see. Yeah, I forgot about the first one, but I think this is much better. So I have 2 spaces here, so I will quickly fix it. And on the first element, I forgot to put this hover text white here above. So let's add it, and now it's working pretty well. Right, so we are done with those animations. So now I think we can go and do a profile page. So to do this, we need to add links on the avatar and on the name here. So on this postcard, let's search for John Doe. Here we have a link, but well, it doesn't look like a link. So let's add some class names here. Let's say that on hover, we will have underline. Let's see, yeah, and we want to have a cursor of type pointer, so we'll have this hand, yeah, and let's do the same for the avatar. Let's see, here we have the avatar. Let's add a link for now, and some class names of, let's see, I don't think we need any class names. Well, maybe accept this avatar, this hand pointer. So let's do pointer, cursor pointer, like this, yes. And now we want to add a path or a link to those links. Actually, this should be wrapped with a link from Next.js. So let's import it. Let's do link like this, and the closing should be here. And now this has been imported for me here automatically. If it doesn't do it for you, you need to add this line. But now we get an error because we need to add to where we want, sorry, it should be href here. And let's say it will go to just slash invalid link with a child. Please remove a child or use link legacy behavior. Okay, let's replace this a with span. That's better. And let's see now what type of link do we want to have for this user. We can do just ID with 1234, or we can do just slash profile. Maybe let's do just slash profile for now. and the same for the name. So we have this a tag here for the name, John Doe. Let's replace it with span. Yeah, also here I will break line here, and the span should be inside the link. So I will put the closing link here, and now let's put it like this. And yeah, this should work. Should take us to, oh, okay, now we don't have any space here. So let's add it on, maybe on the span. Let's do margin right of 2. Yeah, that's too much. 1 will be enough. Yeah. And now let's open our profile. And we got 404. This is because we need to add the page here, profile page. So let's do profile.js, and here just export default function. Let's call it the profile page, and let's just return a div. But maybe instead of this div, we should start with a layout. Sorry, it's not layout. It should be actually, let's see, on the index page. We don't have any layout yet. We just use this setup. So I think we can put it as a layout. So I will put it back as a div here. And let's say it will say profile here. So we get this profile here. But now the problem is that we want to have the same structure as we have here without copying everything from index.js. So as you can see here, we have some div with 2 columns, so left and right. And we want to have everything like this, but with only one component. So I will copy all of this. And now let's go to components, and let's create a new component called layout.js. And now let's do export default function, and let's call this one just layout. And it will just return the thing that we have just copied. But if we now put it inside our profile page, so let's do layout like this, and we put test here, and we can do the same on the index page. So let's do, instead of this, we can do layout test. And as you can see here, nothing have changed on the index page. This can be removed because it's not used anymore. But this part shouldn't be part of the layout. So let's go to the layout, and this is the right column, post form card and post card. Let's remove it from here, and let's put it here inside our home page, inside our layout. And now we want to actually make so wherever we put inside layout, it will be shown here. So let's go to layout, and as you can see, we have those 2 inside layout. And now in our layout component, let's get the children, and let's print our children here, or render. So now it works for the home page, and let's see profile page. We get this test. Let's see profile. Yeah, we have just test here. Let's maybe change it, test profile. Yeah, it works. One thing I would like to fix inside this layout component, let's remove this because it's not used. Right, so we have our profile. And I was thinking that on the profile page, maybe we can start with cover image and avatar. So here inside, the first part will be a box or a card with information about user. So let's do card like this, and let's put here maybe John Doe. So we have this, and on the top I would like to have an cover image. So let's go to Unsplash, And let's see, I will search for Greece photos again. Let's landscape photos, and we use this one. I will take this one, and medium will be good enough. And let's put it inside public for now. Maybe we can just copy the image address without downloading the photo. So here we have card with John Doe. On the top, let's put an image with this URL that I have just copied. Now let's see. Yeah, almost, but I would like to remove those paddings from the card. So if we open the card, we can see that we have some paddings here, padding of 4. And I would like to add a param for this card property, like no padding. And then I would, if we add this no padding, I would like this padding to be removed. So to do this, I will select all those classes. I will put it inside a variable here. Let's do let, because we will change it. Let's do classes, and let's put them like here. And now we can use those classes here. Let's do classes. And now we have padding here. Let's remove this padding of 4. But now the padding disappeared on everything. Even on home, we don't have any padding. So we want to add it by default, and only if we have this no padding, and we want to remove it. So let's do here. If no padding, and then we'll remove the padding. But if we don't have this no padding, then let's just add padding. So let's do space and padding of 4 plus equals here. So now we have padding, but if we go back to our profile page and we add here no padding, let's do this just true, then we don't have padding here. But the corners are not rounded now because we don't have any overflow hidden. So let's do overflow hidden, and now the corners are rounded, so that's better. Let's see. Yes. Now let's go back to our profile, and for the rest of the information we can put it inside div with some class names that will include padding of 4. So we'll put this name here, and now we have some padding here. And this cover photo should be much smaller, so maybe let's put it inside div, this image here inside div, and let's add some class names here for this div. Let's maybe do height of I don't know, 25, no, 24. Yeah, and here overflow hidden as well. So now we would like to center this image vertically. So let's see. Let's change this div to flex, and now let's say it should justify on a center, and items should be centered. And yes, I think we got this. Now let's maybe make it a little bit bigger. So let's do 50 or maybe 60. Why not? 60 is maybe too big. Let's do 56. Yeah, I think 56 is perfect. Maybe smaller. Let's do 48. Let's see, 36. Yeah, I think we'll have 36. Now I would like to have avatar here first. So here I will put avatar. Import. It has been imported for me here. And I have this avatar. But it's really small. So let's maybe add a param on this avatar. Property called big or maybe size. And then let's see, here we have a width of 12, and well, let's see, let's define a variable here called width, and default will be 12. But if the size is let's say big, then we will change the width to 24. Oops, sorry, 24. And here we can change this, and we want to add this with variable. So I'll put it like this as a string, and now with, but we also need to change those to backticks. All right, and now let's see if I change the width to big, profile, and let's change size, so size to big. Whoops, now it's really big. Let's see if the size is big, then 24. Let's remove this big, and then it's small. If it's big, it's really huge. Okay, I think this is because we are building the class like this. And let's change this to width of 12, and here width of 24. And here let's just do just width. Okay, and if we change this to 36 to make it even bigger, then it works. You need to always use the full classes for Tailwind, so the Tailwind can find it inside your code. Right, 36 will work, and maybe we can change the naming to large. And let's change here to large as well. Now this avatar should be here somewhere. So let's put a div with some class names. Maybe let's start with absolute, and let's put this avatar inside it. Now this avatar doesn't take any space, but let's maybe do top 0. Yeah. The thing is that we need to have a div with class name relative here. So this will not go top from the top part of the browser, but top part of the card. So I'll put everything inside this div. And now, as you can see, the top of the avatar starts here. Now let's maybe change this to top 10. Yeah, so it's here. Let's do left of, I don't know, 4. Yeah, and maybe let's do a top of with 36 here. Let's do maybe 18. And that's too much. Let's do 10, 12. I think this will work. Right, but now the John Doe name is underneath. It should go somewhere here. So let's say that John Doe will be inside an H1, and we'll add some classes here. Let's put this John Doe here, and the classes, let's do margin left of 12. Now it's behind the avatar. Let's do 36, and now it's here. And maybe we can pull the avatar even lower. Let's see, let's do maybe 16. Let's do even more. Let's do 24. Yeah, I think this will be better, but we need more space here. So in this div, let's do min height of well, we just have screen full 0 fit and max. Let's just add padding bottom of 12 for now, maybe more, 24, so we can remove it later when we add content here underneath. But now the John Doe should be more to the right. So let's see, margin left, let's do 48, maybe just 40. Yeah, now the text should be bigger. Let's do text, and let's do maybe XL. Yeah, and it should be bold. So the text bold. Sorry, it should be font bold. Yeah, maybe we can do 2XL, so it will be even bigger, or maybe 3XL. Yeah, and this will work. Now we can remove the the padding should be here. Let's see if we add if we want to add some kind of information here underneath about John Doe. Let's say the city. So let's put maybe an div here with those information, and let's say John Doe will live in Stockholm, Sweden. This is behind this avatar. So I think that this margin left, we can put it inside the div. So we can put both H1 and this Stockholm, Sweden inside it. So let's put this one, those two here. So now we have even Stockholm, Sweden here with some margin left spacing. Let's add some class names here. Let's do text gray of 500, so it's grayish. And let's do some leading 4, so it will be closer to John Doe. Yeah, I think this will work. Small problem is that now when we did this overflow hidden, we don't see those corners of this navigation here. So I will go to card and I will remove this overflow hidden. Now this background here is, well, the corners are not rounded, but we can fix it on side our profile. So we have this image here, but we can maybe add overflow hidden on this div above, and we can do rounded corners. Let's do rounded medium, and now we have rounded corners here. Yeah, so that works. Now when we have the profile and homepage, we should change that this element shouldn't be active when we are on the profile page. So let's see. Let's go to our navigation component. We have navigation card here, and let's scroll to the top. And here first we need to get information about what type of page it is. So to get this, we want to have a router. Let's do router, use router, and let's import it from next router. And now let's maybe console log to see what we have inside our router. So if I do inspect here, I will open my console. I'll make it bigger so you guys can see it. And we have the object with router, and we get as path, and we get path name that we can check. And let's see how it looks like when we are on the homepage. We get this router, and the path name is just slash. So let's get path name from router, and based on the path name, if it's just slash, then only first element should be active. Otherwise, we should check for other elements. So here on the first element, we add those classes active element. Maybe we can rename this. Let's do active element classes. And on this non-active element that we use on others, let's do non-active element classes. Sorry, it should be like this. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it works. And now on the first element here on this first a tag, maybe I should put it like this. So the ending of a tag is on the same level as opening of the a tag. But this active element on the first one should be only if the path name is just a slash. So here we can do if path name is just a slash, then we get active element classes, otherwise non-active element classes. So now it's active, but if we go here, it's not active anymore. Let's see. All right, so the other thing is that we have those a tags here instead of links. So maybe let's fix it. So we should use link here. And this has been imported for me now, as you can see here. And maybe I can do like this, just link here. And it has been also changed for me both here and here. Let's see if I save. Let's go to the here. Yeah, everything works. So let's also change on this. Second, third, fourth, and fifth link in our navigation. And now let's see, the first should go to just slash. So it has this href slash, and if we visit this and I click home, it goes to the home page. So that's cool. The padding and the margin is different when we have an active element. Let's see. We have padding of 3 here, but for non-active elements we have margin of 2 and padding of 2. So this together is 4, and here we have only 3. So let's change it to 4, maybe back to 3, but on the top and the bottom let's add the margin of 1. So now, do we change something here for the margin on the top and the bottom? No. Yeah, I think it's okay now. Right, so on the home page we have this, and when we click on the avatar or on the name, we'll get a profile page. So let's go back to our profile page, profile, and well, let's see, what else do we need? I think we need the number of friends and stuff. So either we can put the buttons here, like posts, friends, and maybe photos and stuff on this card, or we can put the buttons here underneath. But I think it would be better to put them here on this card. So under this div with side information, this div that has this margin left 40, let's add another one underneath. Let's just put the test here, and the test is shown here. As you can see, we need some margin from the top, so let's add it, margin top of 10, yeah, and this will be good enough. Now we can remove this padding here from the bottom that we added just to see everything, padding bottom 24. And now instead of this test, we will add some buttons here. I think I will use the same type of styling that we have here. People, check-in, mood, we will do the same here. So instead of test, we want to put some links here. So let's do link, and well, inside the first will be posts. So for each, oops, sorry, posts, link is not defined. Okay, we need to import it. Now it's imported. We need a href here. Let's put a href of just a slash. We have posts, and we will have also here maybe about, friends, photos, and stuff like this. So the first is posts, and well, let's see. We want to add some icons, and we want to have more links. So I will copy this and I will put more for about and photos, posts, about, photos, friends. I think this will be enough. About, friends, and the last one, let's say photos. So we have 4 of those, but now let's add some class names on every link here. So let's make it, let's add some padding on every side. Let's maybe do padding of 3, or actually we could use the same type of styling that we get on the home page. So let's do on the index page and the post form card. Let's open this one. Let's see, we have those check-in and mood. Well, we have only a gap here, and that's all. So I think that we can go to profile, and instead of doing this, we can change the parent div to flex, and we can add some gap here as well. But maybe more. Let's do a gap of 3, maybe 5. Yes, and now let's maybe add some icons. Let's go to hero icons, and let's see. Let's search for post, maybe text. Yeah, maybe we can take this one for now. Let's put the icon here. Next is about. So maybe let's take an info icon. Let's put it here. What's next? Friends, people, no, user. We have user group here. Let's use this one. Let's put it here. And the last is photo. Let's search for image. And we have this photo here. And now let's see how it looks like. Not bad. But on all of those links here, let's put some class names of flex. So it will be, the icon will be next to the text. And also maybe some gap of 1. And let's put items center, so the text will be vertically aligned. Item center. Yes, and now the first one should be active, selected as active. And underneath, under this first card, we want to add, we want to display posts. So let's print a post card here. Yeah, something like this. And this button should be active. So I think I can make it bluish. Or maybe I can add like underline on the bottom part. Let's see. Let's try with underline first. So on the first link here, let's do border bottom of social blue. And let's put border bottom. And let's make it bigger. Let's do 10. Let's do border 10. No, it's not like this. We have border bottom social blue. We can remove it because we have only one type of border. Now we want to make this border bigger. So let's do border 10, 12. No, let's maybe do 2. Okay. Let's do border bottom 2. And now I think we can remove this just border bottom. Let's make it bigger. Let's do 4. Yes, this will work. But now I would like to add some padding on all elements. So let's do padding on the left and right of 2. And on the top and the bottom of at least 1. Yes, but on the top, on the left and on the right, let's do 3. So we'll have some more spacing here. I think that this is we have more spacing here than here, and we can decrease the gap here to maybe even 0. Yes, and let's do for the first one. Let's maybe also change the text color to social blue as well, and let's get rid of this padding here. So all of this sits inside this padding of 4 on each side. Let's do padding bottom of actually 0. So now it looks like this. For the first, it's blue, and then actually I will make this text a little darker. So we have this text social blue, but let's change it to blue. Let's maybe do 900. Should we text blue 900? That's too dark. Let's do 800. Yeah, I think this will work. Maybe we can add a little bit of background color. So let's do background. Let's do blue 400. And let's do background opacity of 50 or maybe 90. Sorry, 10, 20. And maybe we can do rounded corners on the top of medium. Let's see. So we get something like this. Well, I don't think it looks good. I will remove this background color. And I think I will leave it like this. Maybe with some more padding. So we have padding of 3 on the sides. And let's change it, increase it to 5. Maybe just 4. Yeah, so either this, or we could make like a buttons circle with rounded corners and some shadows. and I think it will look much better. So let's remove those extra classes for the first one that is active, and the top bottom padding that we have just removed, let's put it back. And now the first one that should be active, let's make it blue, the same blue that we have here or here. So first link, let's make it background of social blue, and the text should be white, and the radius, border radius, rounded corners should be medium. And we have something like this. So now I think that we can increase the gap back to at least 1, and this looks really nice, except that we need to add some shadow, the shadow of medium, and let's add some shadow color, shadow of gray 300. Let's maybe do 500. That's too dark. 400, 300. I think 300 is good enough. So this is like other type of how we could have it. So we could change those, or we can just make a rounded border around the active one. So either this blue, or let's see, let's change this, remove those active classes, and let's add just a border, and border color should be gray 300. Let's do rounded medium, something like this. I think this is the best. Let's do also maybe 400, so it will be a little darker. And well, we can try also with some background blue of 500. We can add some opacity of 50. We can remove this border, let's see, and let's add the text to be white. It doesn't look good. Let's change this opacity to 90. So we are back to this. Let's do 10, and let's make this black. Yeah, something like this. And well, I think I will go with background social blue, and we can remove this opacity and text white, and I think this looks the best. So or does it? I don't know. Maybe we can go back to the underlines. I will just Control Z to this one, and I will make also the font bolder. So let's do font bold, and the text should be also the same social blue, and this is what I'm going with. So I think those the version with underline and the border bottom looks the best. So let's add this border bottom of 4 on all other elements. So we have 3 more that we want to add border bottom of 4, but now it's grayish, and I want to make it border bottom white. Yeah, something like this will work. All right, and when we are here on the posts, it's posts, then we will have also about, and on the about page we will have a card with just some text. On the friends we will have like a card with all the friends, and on the photos we will have a card with all the photos. But for now we are, I think, done with the profile. It looks really nice. So now I think we can just quickly add the rest of the content for those tabs. Let's see. First we need to use our router. So let's do const router equals, and now use router from next, and it has been imported for me. And now we have posts, about, friends, and photos. We can maybe define variables for all of those. Is posts equals, and first we need the path name. as we needed before. Let's do path name from router like this. And now if path name, let's search if it includes the posts or the path name is exactly /profile. And then we need to check is about page, and it will be if path name includes about, and that's all. The third is friends, and it will be if path name includes friends. And the fourth is photos, and it will be when the path name includes photos. Right, and now here where we have the links for posts, about, friends, and photos, we have those class names. And for the first item, we have some extra class names. So I think that we should put those class names as a constant for both alternatives, for selected and not selected. So let's do const let's do tab classes equals this string, and const active tab classes will be this string. And the posts that is selected, let's grab those classes. I will cut them from here, and instead I will use active tab classes, and let's put those classes here. And now for the non-active, let's copy those, and let's remove them from here, and instead let's use just tab classes. And the thing I have just copied, let's put it inside tab classes. Yeah, so now it works. But now let's fix the links, because all the links go to just homepage. The first should go to /profile/posts. The second should go to /profile/about. And the third one should go to profile friends. And the last one should go to profile photos. Later, when we will add database and put all the functionality, it will not be just /profile, but instead it will be just /profile and / and maybe username, and then we will have photos at the end. But for now, this will work. And let's see, we have some class names for active here. This should be just tab classes, even for the first one. And now for all of this, we should check if it's the current page. Let's see, is posts, then we have active tab classes, otherwise, so colon, just tab classes. And now we can do the same for the rest. The second is about, then we'll have active classes, otherwise just tab classes. And next one is friends, then active tab classes, otherwise just tab classes. And the last one is photos. So is photos active or tab classes? Right. Okay, the photos seems to be active. It shouldn't be. Let's see, is photos is not used. And let's see, photos. Okay, it should be is photos, not profile. All right, and now we should be able to click on those. No, we are not. And this is because when we click about, it goes to /profile/about. And the thing is, to support this /profile/about, we need to create a directory here called profile, and inside we need to put the file about. So let's do this, about.js. We can also put all other variants. Let's do photos.js, and we also need the posts and friends, post.js, and friends posts.js. Let's go quickly back. As you can see, if we just go to just /profile, we see the posts, and we should see those posts even if we go to /profile/posts. So let's maybe start with this one, posts. Right, but for now you can see we have 4 files that will render almost the same profile, almost the same components. So for the post, let's just do export default function. Let's do posts like this, and let's say it would just return profile page for now. And then this works, but then we can actually put this in a better way. Instead of having 4 different files here, we can have one file. The only thing we need to do is to do square brackets and then .js, and here inside we need to do ... and here just a name of a file. Let's call this one maybe profile.js. And now we can remove all those 4. Let's just delete. And the thing is that this one will be used for all pages that are under profile. So even if it's /posts, /photos, /friends, after the /profile, it will be all by the same file because we use this square brackets and ... So let's do export default function. Let's do profile page. I think we have the same thing here, the same function name, and we shouldn't repeat it. So here let's do just profile. So we'll have unique names, and this thing should be everything that we have inside profile here. So maybe I will cut everything from, no, maybe not cut everything, but maybe we can just use this profile page instead. So let's do return and let's do profile page. Now let's see, now we have everything. If I click posts, about, the URL changes, friends, photos, and we still see the same content. Let's go quickly back to profile page and let's see. The selection doesn't work. Let's see why. Let's maybe console log the is about, and let's also console log path name. So we will see how it looks like. I will do inspect here, console, and let's see, is about is false. Let's go to about, and the path name is actually something like this. Okay, so this is actually path name to the file, so we can't use it. Let's also console log router, right? So let's open the router and let's see. We don't want to have this .profile. We want to know what type of page is it. So here we have as path. We have about. Let's see, what do we have else? I think we need to use this as path instead. So instead of this path name, we need to get as path from here, as path, but we can even rename it to path name variable that we'll use later here. So now you can see this underline works, but we actually from router we imported as path and then we quickly rename this to path name so we can use it as path name later on inside our code. All right, now we don't need this console log, so we'll remove it. And let's close the console and let's see. Now I can click different tabs, the URL changes, but we still see the same content. Here we have this one post that is underneath our user card. But this post, let's say it will be only visible when it's posts page. So is posts, and let's do end and parentheses, and let's put this, but maybe inside the div, and we have post. So now we are on the friends, we don't see it, but on the posts we do. The next will be about. So let's do is about, and let's put the div here. Why not? And inside we'll have a card. Let's open about. So we have this card, and maybe let's put an h2 that will be like about me, and then underneath we will have some lorem ipsum, something like this. And this about me can be bigger, so let's add some class names. Let's make it text of 2xl, maybe bigger 3xl. Let's do margin bottom of 2, so we'll have some spacing. Maybe we can add some more text. Let's add some more lorem ipsum. But for each paragraph, I will add also class names to add some margin bottom of 2 as well. Oops, let's save this. Yeah, so we have some spacing between those. Maybe I can even increase it to 4. Yeah, so we have some space. Let's see. Maybe the text should be smaller on those paragraphs. Let's do text SM. Yeah, I think this is better. We can decrease the margin bottom from 4 to maybe 2. Yeah, I think this will work. Right, so we are done with the about. Let's do friends. Let's do is friends and parentheses, and let's put the div. Let's put a card, and let's put like the same h2 but for friends. And here we want to have a list of friends. So under this h2, let's put the div, and how the each friend should look like. It should be an avatar like this, and then we should have like a name. So let's maybe do h3 with the name. Let's do Jane Doe, why not? And it should be on the right side here. So this div, let's add some class names of let's do flex. Let's add a gap of 2. All right, and underneath the Jane Doe, I want to add the number of friends, shared friends. It's called mutual friends. So let's say we'll have like a span element or a div with, it will say like 5 mutual friends. And it should be underneath. So let's put those two inside the div. Everything was next to each other because it was direct child to this flex. But now it goes like this. And for this h2, let's add some class name. Let's do font bold. And for this 5 mutual friends, let's do class name of text small. And the name here should be bigger, so let's do text XL. Yes, and here let's do leading of 4, so it will be closer to Jane Doe, maybe just 3. Yeah, I think this will work. Now, as you can see, we have this div that is just a one friend. And I think we can cut it from here, and we can put it as a separate component first. Component, and let's call this one friend info.js. Let's do export default friend info, and sorry, I forgot export default function, and here just return parentheses and inside the thing that we just cut it from profile. And now let's do friend info here like this, and let's put it let's copy this and let's put it several times, but not like this. I want it to be under each other, yeah, like this. But every friend is inside this div. Let's add some class names. So we will have 2 rows. And let's do grid here. Let's add some gap of 2. So we'll have some spacing. Maybe we can do 4. So we'll have more spacing. And now let's put those as 2 columns. So let's do grid columns 2. So we have 2 columns. We can change to 3. I think 2 is good enough. All right. We can do a bigger gap of like 5, maybe 6. Yeah, I think this will work. Or we can remove this grid and instead each friend info we can put in a separate div like this, and then add some class names to create a border on the bottom like this, with some extra padding like 4 on each side. Yes, and now I will copy this and I will put this several times. Let's remove those friends from here. So now we have something like this. This is a little bit prettier, but I want those lines to go from the very left. But because we have this padding on this card, I will add the negative margin on X of 4. So now the line starts here. Yeah, this looks much better, I would say. And well, each row should be clickable, and maybe we can do the border color darker. So we can do border bottom and border bottom gray 300. Let's do 100, so it's barely visible gray color. Right, here's something wrong on those lines here. Let's see. Okay, I forgot to add those lines here, but let's just remove those here. And yeah, we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 friends. So this is how the friends page would look like. And I think the last one is photos. So let's go here, is photos, and as the parentheses, let's put a div here, and let's just say it should say photos. But now how we want to display the photos? I think we can just put photos inside the card. So card, and here we'll put a lot of images, and every image will be inside a div. So let's maybe pick this one. I will copy the image address. I'll put it here, and I will copy to create 2 more. And let's get another one, maybe this one. Copy image address, and I want to put it here on the second. And let's see, let's get one more, maybe this one. Copy image address, and I will put it here as the third one. All right, let's see. All right, so we have photos that go like this. Maybe we can get another one to have 4 photos. Maybe this, maybe it's not that important. But all those divs with images, let's put those inside another div so we can do some grid or something. So here let's add a class name of grid, and grid calls of 2. And now let's put all those images here. Yes, we can now even add some gap of, let's say 4. Let's maybe grab one more photo, maybe this one. I will copy the first one, so it will be here. I will copy image address, and let's put it here. Let's see, now we have 4 photos. And it would be nice maybe to make the corner rounded on each photo, so that's why we have those divs. We could probably do this directly on the image tags, but I like to have separate divs. So let's do rounded medium and overflow hidden. So now we have rounded corners. And now, as you can see, this image is much bigger in height, but we can actually make them the same. So let's do height on all of those to 24. So now they look like this. Let's put them as flex, but let's put also items center. So now the image inside is centered vertically. And we can actually make them maybe a little bit bigger, let's say 36 or maybe 48. Yeah, and this is better, and would be nice to have some shadow. Let's do shadow of medium. Yeah, I think this is good enough. All right, so we have photos and we have friends, posts, about, friends, and photos. And those photos will be links, and when we open, it will open this specific post where you posted this photo. All right, so I think we are done with all tabs here for the profile. So here we have friends. Maybe we can change so the friends will actually go to this page /profile/friends. So we'll have a better preview, navigation card. Let's scroll to friends is the second. So here we have a link ref. Let's put /profile/friends. And now let's see, friend, home, friends. Friends is not selected because it always has this non-active element class. We need to check if path name is exactly /profile/friends. If it is, we want to have active element classes. Otherwise, so colon, non-active element classes. So now it still doesn't work because, as you remember, this path name that we grab from router is looks like /profile/ and then ... or something like this. Instead, we should grab as path and let's rename it to path name. So those variables will still work. And now it works. So we have home with our home posts. Then we have friends, and it goes to our profile page on to the friends tab. We can maybe even add saved posts here. So this will be actually the next page we will fix. So let's do this. So here we have this saved posts, and it should go not to just empty link. It should go to maybe just /saved, right? And now when we click it, it goes to just /saved. But as you can see, it's 404. We need to go to pages and we need to create a new file called saved.js. And here let's do an export default, and we need to create a React component. So function, we can call it saved, or we can call it something else. Let's do saved page, or maybe saved posts page, and it will return parentheses, and inside parentheses we need layout. So let's import this one, and inside the layout, let's maybe just say saved. Now if I refresh, we get this saved, but we want to have posts here. So let's do post card. We have one post. Let's put another one. So we'll have two. But now two problems. I would like to have some kind of header here instead of the saved. So let's do h1 and let's say your saved posts that we will style. And another thing is that this should be active. So let's make it active, navigation card and saved. We just have non-active element classes. Here we can actually change check for if path name is slash saved, then so question mark active element classes, otherwise non-active element classes. So now it's active. Let's go back to saved.js and let's style our header. Let's add a class name of, let's make it big. So the text 3XL. Let's add some margin bottom of at least 4. Let's make it more grayish, maybe like this one, navigation. So let's do text gray 300. That's too bright. Let's do 500, maybe 400. And let's make it maybe even bigger. Can we do 3XL? Yes. And if we do 3, yes, this will work. Let's maybe do just saved posts. Yeah, this will work. Yeah, I think this looks good enough. Just saved posts. For friends, it shows this. For saved posts, it shows just saved posts. All right, I think this looks good enough. Now the next page, let's do notifications that is underneath. So let's go to navigation card and let's see, here we have notifications. So let's say it will go to /notifications. And as you can see, it has this non-active element classes. Here we should also check that path name is equal /notifications. If it is, it will have active element classes, otherwise non-active element classes. So now if we click, we get 4 because we need to create a new page. Here, new file, let's call this one, it should be called notifications because it needs to be the same as URL, notifications.js. But here for the name of the component, we can call it something else. Let's do export default function, notifications page, and let's return. And it will return a layout. And let's see if I refresh. Let's what should we put here? We should put a header, the same header that we have for saved posts. So let's go to saved and let's copy this header for now to our notifications, and let's put notifications here. Let's open notifications. Yes, that's right. And here underneath, I would like to have a card component. And here inside, I will have a list of what happened. So let's put a div with the first notification. I want that on the left side we'll have an avatar. Oops, it should be avatar like this. And then we'll have a text next to it, next to this avatar. Let's put it inside div. And let's say John Doe with capital D liked your photo, something like this. And to put this next to the avatar, let's add a class name here and let's do this to flex. Let's do gap of 3 and items center, so it will be vertically aligned. Yeah, something like this will work. Now let's see, we have this, and I will actually copy to have 3 notifications. And now the first thing is I want to add border on the bottom. So let's do border bottom, and border bottom color will be gray of I think it was 200 or maybe just 100. Yeah, 100. And now I also need to add some padding on the top and the bottom, and maybe even on the side. So let's do just padding of 4. Yes, but as you can see, again, the line starts here and not from the left side. So let's put all those notifications inside this main div here. And for this main div, I will add the class name negative margin on the x-axis of 4. And now the line starts from the from the left side. We get some extra padding here from the top and the bottom. I don't want this. So I can add no padding on the card to true. And but now we can get rid of this negative margin. Right, and this looks promising. Let's decrease this gap to just 2. And now the thing is that this name and this avatar should be clickable. So I can go to this specific user and or maybe even the whole row should be clickable. Let's maybe change that your photo will be clickable. So here on the first one, let's add a link with closing tag here. It hasn't been imported, but if I try, now it has been imported for me here. Let's add a link to your photo and let's add some class names. And let's change this to, I want this your photo to be the same type of blue as we have here. So let's do text of social blue. Let's go to notifications. We need to add href here, and the href will work. Yes, we have this. I will also add underline on hover underline. Yeah. And now John Doe should be more bold or something like this. Yeah, it should be semi-bold. So let's go to notifications. Your photo link will go here. Liked will be a separate text. But now for John Doe, let's put the link. Closing tag of the link will go here. We need to add a href so we'll not get any error. And now let's add some class names of text, or it should be font semi-bold. So now we have this semi-bold here, but we need some spacing. So for from the John Doe and from your photo. So let's add margin right here of 1. And on this your photo, let's add margin left of 1 here. Yeah. And for John Doe, let's also add hover will be underline. Yeah. This will work. And also for the avatar, we want to add the link for it as well. It will go to I don't know, somewhere for this. It will go to the profile page. So we can maybe just do profile. Yeah. Same for the John Doe. It will go to profile. And now we have fixed this for only one notification. And we have 2 more that are not fully styled. So we'll remove them. And this notification that we have styled, I will just quickly copy. So we'll have styling on all notifications. Right. I think this is good enough for notifications. And of course, logout will just log out. So we actually need also login page that I forgot about. So let's say that URL for the login page will be just /login. And we need to create it inside pages. So let's go to pages, new file, and let's do login.js. And let's do export default function. And let's call this one login page. We don't need double spaces here. Return. And the thing is that we want to have the same layout, but the layout includes, let's see, login. The layout includes this navigation. So maybe we can add a param here or here on the layout. That will be like hide navigation. It will be true. And then inside layout, we can check if we have hide navigation. And here we have the first column, the navigation. So here we can check if we don't have hide navigation. Then we will show this navigation. Otherwise, we will have just this main column. But the problem is that this main column is 9 of 12 of the width. And I want it to be full size. So if we have hide navigation is true, then we want this width to be full. Otherwise, it should be 9 of 12. Right, now let's go to login page. And instead of just a login as a text, I will put a card here. Yes, it has been imported for me. And inside this card, I want to put a login form. Right, now the card shouldn't be that big. So I'll put this card inside the div. And this div will have a width of, let's say, 52. Maybe let's see max width. We can do 2XL. And let's put this card inside. Let's make it even smaller. Let's do max width of medium. And let's do margin on the sides of auto. So it's centered. Margin on top, let's add let's put more, let's do 4. So we have a little bit more of spacing from the top. Or maybe we can even make it centered. So let's put the div here. That will have a class name of height screen. So this div will have the maximum height of the screen. And let's put our div here with a form. And now the thing is that this will be also flexed and items inside will be centered vertically. So now our form is here. Maybe we can put this max width on the, or maybe if we add grow here, it will be full width that it should. Yes, it is. So we have this and now it's centered, but we can remove this margin top of 4. Maybe we can pull it up a little bit because I think that if I inspect this div that has the, let's see, this div that has this height of screen, it starts here and not on the top. So on our card here, I will do margin top of minus. Let's do like 8 here. So it will start here and not under the middle baseline here. Maybe I can pull it up even more. Let's do minus 16. Let's do more, 24. Yeah, I think this will work. Now instead of this login form, let's add an h1 that will say login. And let's add some class names for this one. And we will also need like 2 inputs. The first for, we can do login and password, or we can use some kind of buttons. Login with Google, login with Twitter. I think we can go with buttons, it will be better. So let's put those as a tags for now. The first will be login with Google, or maybe login with Google. And we want to have an icon here. So let's search for Google here. We don't have an icon. We have, no. Let's maybe use then Font Awesome icons. Let's search for Google. We have Google icon here. I will copy SVG and I will put it here. And I think this will fail. And this is because we have some weird comment here. This is HTML comment and we need to get rid of this. So I will select this comment that we have inside SVG and I will remove it, and now it works. But we need some class names on this SVG, so it will be smaller. Let's do height of 8. Yeah, and almost there. On this A tag, that is our button, let's add the class names of flex. So the icon will be next to the text. Let's add some gap of 3 or maybe 2. Yes, and let's now do item center, so the text will be centered. And I think that this login could be actually moved outside of this card, like here. And this card could be more narrow, so let's do max width SM. And I will do that each card will be actually a link. So, right, but for now, let's do the login header. Let's fix it so it'll be big. Let's do text for XL. Let's do the same that we have for notifications page. I will grab this H1 and I will just paste it on the login page. I will just rename this to login. Yeah, and let's make it center text center. Yes, and maybe we can make it even more narrow, text max width XS on this, and even the button can be, the content here can be centered. So let's say justify center. Yes, more gap. Let's do maybe gap of 4. Yes, I think this will work. And now we can actually put more links here underneath. We can make those buttons as separate cards, or maybe we can put several links like login with Twitter, login with GitHub, something like this. And here we'll have login with Twitter, but we need to change the icons and add some padding and stuff. Let's start with icons. Let's search for Twitter icon. I will copy SVG, and here the second should be this Twitter, and the last one should be GitHub. I'll take this one, copy SVG, and the last one should be this. Now we have, as you remember, those comments here. And the thing is, we just need to get rid of those. So let's select the first one. I will select also the second one, and let's get rid of those. Now we have something like this because we don't have the class names that we have on the first SVG. We have this height of 8. I will copy this and I'll put it on second SVG and third. So even for Twitter and GitHub. And now I want to have more spacing between those. So here we have the card. Here we have classes for each link. I will actually add some padding on the top and the bottom of, or maybe padding on each side of 4. So now we have something like this. Now let's add border on the bottom. Border bottom color should be, let's say, gray 100. So barely visible gray. Now we also want to remove the padding from the card. So card, no padding to true. And we have something like this. And now a cool thing would be to actually make those, make it that when we hover, let's maybe just first fix all the links. They will go to just start page. When we hover, I want to have this blue. So for all 3, I will select class here so I can type on all those 3. Let's see. On hover, I want it to be background social blue. On hover, I want to also the text to be white. And on hover, I want also to remove border from everywhere. So it's the border 0, maybe border bottom 0. And on hover, I want it to be bigger. So let's do scale 110. And I want to add transition. So let's do transition all. And now let's see. Yeah, almost there. I think it looks really nice. Maybe we can get rid of this scaling thing. Let's see. Yeah, I think this will work. The top, the corners are not rounded for those blue colors. And I think we can just put a new div here that will be the direct child of the card. And all those links, let's put them inside this div. And here let's do just rounded corners medium and overflow hidden. So now the blue color will be rounded. Now it's moving a little bit, and it's moving because we are removing this border bottom on hover. And to fix it, we can just do that the color will be social blue. So we'll have the border even for hover, but it will be just blue. Yeah, that looks really nice. And I want to also try to put the scaling back. So let's do hover, scale 110. Let's see. Now it's scaling a little bit. That's cool. With the logo. And one thing is I would like the icon to be blue when I hover. So for all those SVGs, we have only this have 8, but let's add the fill, and the fill color should be inherited. Let's see if this will work. No, it doesn't. Maybe we can change fill inherit to fill current. Now let's see. Now it's white. So now it looks really good. Maybe we can try even to make this scaling bigger. So I do 25. See how it looks like. Well, I don't know, maybe that's too much. I think 10% is good enough. The GitHub should be with uppercase as well. And well, I think we are done with the login page. So when we click one of those, we see the home page. So that's cool. All right, the last thing I forgot about is we need to make this more mobile responsive. So if I make it small like this, the navigation should go somewhere else, and the rest should be centered. So I will go actually to layout, and here in the layout you can see that we have 2 columns. Here we have the left column, and here we have the right column. So this is the left and this is the right. And the thing is, we always have this type of setup, and we want to change it that when it's mobile, we want to have this navigation, let's say here at the bottom, as we have with other kind of apps for mobile. So this flex and stuff should be only for desktop. So let's try to do medium and flex. So now if I make it smaller, you see the navigation is here above, so it's not flex anymore for smaller screens. Right, so what else do we want to do? We want this 9/12 sizing, to take the whole width. So let's change this to only for medium. So now this takes the whole width. And now we can also add maybe some margin on the sides. Let's see. Here we have, let's fix maybe the main part here first. So we have width full if we are hiding navigation. If we don't, we do width of 9/12. Let's maybe define those classes somewhere here. Let's call them right column classes, like this. And this will be a string. And now if we have this hide navigation, then we want to add the class that will be with full. Otherwise, we want to add the width of 9 of 12, like this. So now we can replace this with our right column classes. And let's see if it still works. Yes, it does. But now for mobile, let's see. This hide navigation is when we have login page. So this part doesn't need to be changed, but this part should be changed. So 9 of 12 of width should be only for medium screens. Otherwise, what should be the default? The default should be that we have some margin on the left and on the right side, like a little bit. Let's say margin on X will be 1, maybe a little bit more 2. So we have a little bit of margin on the sides. And let's try with 4. Yeah, that's I think that's better. But this is default now. But for medium size desktop, we need to change it back to 0. So let's say medium, margin on the X should be 0. So this margin that we added as default will disappear for medium size of screens. And so this part looks good. Let's see on the profile now. Yeah, I think it looks all right. Now we only need to fix this navigation. So the easiest way to fix this will be to place it sticky to the bottom. Let's see, here we have this navigation card that sits inside this div that is 3 of 12 of for the width. So now it takes 3 of 12 for the width, and we can start by changing that it should be only for desktop size. So now it takes all the possible space here, all the width, and now we can probably start by putting this to the bottom. So let's say it should be sticky, and let's pull it to the bottom 0. We will also add absolute positioning. Sorry, should be fixed. Yeah, this didn't change anything. Maybe because I need to remove sticky. Sticky will not work. Yeah, now it's fixed to the bottom, but we need to also make it full width. So let's do width full. Yes, and we have some margin from the bottom, and we don't want this. So let's see. Margin top here. We have gap. Let's see where this margin comes from. This margin is here inside this div. So if and let's open this one, and it looks like, let's inspect this logout, and let's see. I will make this thing bigger. So this logout buttons are okay. Here we have some margin on the bottom. It's on a div that has background white. So it's inside this navigation card. So I will close this for now. Let's open navigation card. We have some background somewhere here. Let's see, card. Okay, it's because on the card we have margin bottom of some kind of margin bottom for every card. So let's fix it. So we want to remove margin bottom for the card, but only for this one. So maybe instead of removing margin bottom of the card, let's go back to layout, and here we have navigation card. Maybe we can just pull it down instead. So let's do minus margin bottom of, let's say 4. Almost there. Let's do 5. Yeah, I think this will work. But we should set it to default of 0 when it's not when it's actually a medium-sized desktop. So this fixed, it should be defaulted back to static. So let's do, if we have medium, so desktop size, the display should be static, like this. This doesn't hurt, this doesn't hurt either. And this minus margin bottom 5, let's, well, we can keep it as well because it's just margin bottom here. So it doesn't hurt. Let's see if I make it back to small. We have navigation here, but now let's actually fix so we'll have buttons in one row. So let's go to navigation card and let's see. So first we want to get rid of this navigation title here. Here we have it. Let's maybe change that it will be display none or maybe hidden. But if we have medium-sized desktop, it will be block. So now it's not visible for our small screen. And the next thing is we want to put those buttons next to each other. So here we have all the links inside this div. Let's try to put flex here. Okay, almost there. So we make flex as default, but if the screen is bigger, we make it static. That way, if we make it back to this size, well, it's static. Sorry, it shouldn't be static, it should be block. It's not about positioning, it's about display type. So if I make it like this, it's block. If I make it like this, it's static. Right, and we have all the links next to each other. We have some problem with margin, but we can probably fix it by adding medium colon to all those classes. So first, let's see, for this padding, let's add only for medium type of screens. Maybe not this one because it's from top and the bottom. Instead, let's check something like this. Here we have on the x-axis, so from the left to the right, we have -10. Let's make it only for desktop screens, like this. And let's see, do we have something like this even here? No, but the padding is really big. So let's make it only for desktop. And let's add a smaller default. So let's say the default will be just 2. Yeah, so we have some spacing on the left and on the right, a little bit of padding. And maybe we can make the text smaller. So let's maybe change text to SM, but the D will be default, but for medium screens, the text will be medium. And let's put the same for not active element, like this. All right, and then we have this gap. Let's change this gap will be only for desktop. And let's add maybe a default for mobile's gap 1 will be default, but for medium screens, it will be gap 3. All right, so this works. If I make it this small, well, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons in one row will be too much. So instead of this flex, I will actually use grid. And let's put this as, let's make 3 columns. So grid columns 3. So in each row we have 3 buttons. But well, having 2 rows is not good for mobiles. Let's go back to flex. And actually, I think we can get rid of some of the texts when we are on mobile. So I think we don't need any texts if we are on mobile. Let's see, we have this home, friends, and the stuff. Let's select all the texts and let's put them inside the span like this. So we can style the texts separately. Here's something wrong. Let's close this one. should be saved posts. So we have, let's see, we have home, friends, saved posts, notifications, and logout. And now for all those spans, let's add some class names. And the default will be hidden, but for a medium type of screen, it will be visible. Visible. So now it's not visible, but when we make the screen this big, it should be visible. So instead of hidden, we should make it invisible and visible. So let me grab the first one, home, and let's change it to invisible, like this. So now it's visible. If I make it like this, it's invisible. So by doing invisible and visible, we're changing the visibility, but I think we should actually, instead of this visible and invisible, we should use hidden and display block. So let's do here hidden and here block. So now it's not visible and now it is visible. The difference is that when we do visibility, then the padding and margin will still be there. If we do hidden and block, the hidden will make it so the padding and the space is not used inside the DOM. So let's now see, we have some icons here. We need to also add some gap between those. So we have flex here, but no gap. So let's add a gap of 4. And that helped a little bit. We still have a lot of padding on hover. Maybe that's not a problem because we don't have any hover for mobiles. But let's make it this big and let's open preview for mobile like this. I will take this panel on the left side and let's change the preview for iPhone 12 so we see how it looks like. Right, and the important thing is we need to make more space for the buttons. So we have this space gap 4, but let's add some space around. So let's do space around or between. It's not called like this one. Let's see, justify between. Yes, we have some space between those buttons. And now let's add a little bit of padding on the sides. So let's see. Let's search for padding on the X. Here we have padding X of 2. I will change it to 4. So you can see this is now much wider. Maybe even more. Let's do 6. Yeah, that looks really nice. And here we have padding on X of 4. Let's see. The 4 should be only for medium screens, but for default should be 6. So the padding on the X should be 6. Yeah, that looks nice. Now for small screens, I would like to add some shadow here. So let's see. Here maybe let's add the shadow, medium. I want to see some shadow from the top. Let's see where we have this div. I will click inspect here and let's see. We have some, it doesn't go all the way to the bottom, but let's fix the shadow first. Let's do shadow, gray. Let's make it really dark so we can see. Okay, so it's here. Well, now I would like to remove the padding from the sides. So we have here padding on the sides and we have padding from this card. Let me add no padding on this card to true. So now it takes, now it's aligned to the bottom and it looks much better. But let's see how it looks for desktop. Well, it looks almost good. The shadow is too big, so we don't want this shadow gray 500. for desktop. So for desktop, medium, let's do shadow 0. Now let's see. And maybe we need to also reset this color. Shadow, sorry, should be shadow none, not shadow 0. Right, now let's see. Yes, but we have too much of the blue, too much to the sides. Let's see, it should be on the active. Let's see, we have margin, let's see, we have 10 here, but it should probably be smaller. Let's make it 8. And the padding on the X, let's change it also to 8. Yeah, now it looks better. So this works. If I make it this small, then we have buttons here at the bottom. So this looks nice. Let me inspect this once again. And let's see, because I think we don't have enough spacing. Let's see here. Then we have some padding here. That's okay. But as you can see, the buttons that are not active don't have padding on the sides. So here we have active, here we have non-active. We have some padding on the active, on the x-axis. Let's see. Here we have padding x of 6. Here we have also padding x of 6. So let's see. Let's see, one here, second is here. No, they actually do have enough of padding. Let's see, maybe it's because of this gap of 4 that is not necessary anymore. No, this looks like this. The last one ends here. Let's remove the negative margin for those buttons. Even the gap should be only for medium, like this. And let's see. Here we have margin from the top and the bottom. Here is only for, okay, here we have negative margin. It's -4, and it should be applied only for medium screens, like this. And now this logo of the button is not aligned to the right side as it was. So now let's see, I think everything looks fine. If I make it this small, yes. Now the thing is that this top part here should be also splitted. So let's go back to, not back, but let's go to post form card. And here we have all those buttons. And they are displayed as flex inside this flex div. And well, I think we can make it better. We can either hide the texts on those, or we can put it in separate rows. I think that hiding texts will be simpler. So for every button that ends here, it's 3 buttons. We need to put those texts inside the, inside span elements. Here it should be span, and the smooth should be also inside span, and people will also be inside span. And now for all those spans, we can add some class names, and we can say it will be hidden by default, but for medium, it will be displayed as a block. So now we don't see it because it's default hidden, and our screen is not big enough to be displayed those text as a block. So now this works, and I think the next part will be profile page. So we have posts about friends, but then there's also another one, photos, that is not visible because we don't have enough space. And well, to fix it, I think we need to go to our profile. So let's see, profile, and let's go down to our, here, where we have all the, no, not here, it should be somewhere here. Yeah, where we have all our buttons. So default is flex, and we have 4 of them. Maybe we can put them in one line. So let's try to do this. Let's see, we have active tab classes and tab classes. So let's scroll up here and let's see. We have some gap here, padding on the X axis should be 4. Let's make it only for medium screens. Yeah, so now they are next to each other. Also for active, only for medium. Yeah, I don't think we have enough of the space here, to be honest. I think that we need to hide the texts instead. So I will put back, so this padding on the X will be even for mobiles. But here where we have all those texts, posts, about, friends and photos, we need to again put those texts inside the span elements. So here span, and this closing span should go here, and photos as well, closing should go here. And I forgot about let's put it inside span like this. And now for all those spans, let's do class name. The default will be hidden, but for medium screens will be block. So now we don't see them, the texts, but if we make the screen this big, they are visible. Yeah, so this works. Maybe it doesn't need to be medium. Maybe we can change it to SM. And now let's see. Now if I make this big, we see this. If I make it this big, we get the navigation. So that is cool. Maybe the avatar could be a little bit smaller, this avatar. Let's see. And the first avatar that we have here is large. Let's open avatar and let's see. We have this large, but let's make it 36 for medium screens, and default large will be width of 24. Sorry, width 24. So now it's a little bit smaller. Now we can pull this text more to the left and less spacing here. Back to profile page, and let's see. Here we have margin left of 40 for those John Doe, Stockholm, Sweden. Let's make it for medium screens. And otherwise, default will be margin left of, let's try with 20. Let's do more, let's do 30. 40 doesn't work, let's do 24. Yeah, 24 works, nice. Now we want to get rid of this spacing here because there's a lot of space. It's probably here margin top of 10. Let's make it only for medium screens. And default, let's do margin top of 4. Yeah, this should work. Now maybe we can pull the texts here a little bit more. Let's see, John Doe, padding is 4 here. Maybe we can do a padding on the top to be 0. And only on medium screens, padding top will be 4. Back to 4. Right, now let's see if I make it bigger, like maybe this big. Yeah, everything looks nice. So I can maybe click here, friends, here, photos. Yeah, maybe we should fix the photos as well. Let's scroll down here and let's see. On those photos, we have, here we have friends, here we have photos. We have the default of height should be 48. Let's make it that it should be only for medium screens. And the default should be height of 24. So now they are this big. Well, I wonder if we should make it only one row for mobiles, and we should probably do this. So let's put it back, 48 like this. But here where we have grid columns 2, we should change that grid columns 2 should be only for medium screens. And that way the default is only one column. So it looks a little bit better. Let's see posts here. Yeah, I think that's that looks all right. And one thing here about it looks okay. Here, friends looks good too. photos. One small thing is that we don't see the very bottom here of this photo, because this thing is here above it, our navigation. So for the layout, let's go to layout. For the layout, for the main div, we need to add some margin to the bottom of at least 12, so we can scroll more. Let's do even more, let's do 36. Let's see. Yeah, now we can scroll, maybe just 24 will be enough. And this is enough. But this should be only as a default for mobiles. Otherwise, for medium screens, margin bottom should be 0. Oops. Right, so now if we make it this big, yeah, that's better. Let's see posts. This looks alright. About, yeah, good. Yeah, everything looks fine. Maybe we could add more margin here for the navigation. Let's see, navigation for desktop. And let's see if I close this thing. Let's see, margin on the X axis. Let's search for MX -4. Let's see, padding on this main card here. Okay, we have removed this padding. So that's why we have a little less padding here on this card. But now maybe we can increase it here. So let's do a padding maybe 6. All right, so it looks like this. And now we can put back this difference here to be bigger, because we have decreased it from 10 to 8. Now it's changed back to 10 here and 10 here. Yes, and this looks right. See? Now we can maybe, no, this looks okay. Maybe not. Let's pull it back. We have this 4. Let's make it back to 4, and this 10. Let's make it back to 8. I think this looks good. Yeah, login looks fine. The homepage looks fine. Let's see if I make it smaller. The post looks fine. This is good as well. And what else do we have? Friends. Here we have posts, about me, friends. Everything looks fine. Photos, yes. Homepage, that looks good. Saved posts, looks fine. Notifications, looks fine. And the login page looks fine too, even for super small mobiles. Alright, so I think we are done with mobile version. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click the like button and subscribe to see more videos like this one. Have a nice day and see you in the next video.